My name is Matevž Čelik. I'm an architect, and I became a critic as well and a cultural producer in architecture. I manage Museum of Architecture and Design and directors in 2010, since it was upgraded from a city to a national museum. And we are trying to find out what the new Museum of Architecture should be and what its future roles should be. That's why, besides running exhibitions and dealing with collections, we are trying to create new programs which now, through the last years, became clear that should be focused particularly on support to young talents in architecture and design. 5 years ago, I have a feeling that architectural debate was very much going about what's been built and how it's been built and what have we done wrong. So it was about reflections on the current projects. And we wanted to make a shift and to shift the focus of architects into the future. And I think we managed to do that with young architects and also with the institutions. For institutions, it's also important that they can see what is happening, what young people are thinking about, and that they, regarding their responsibility in the public programs, think about what they need to do as well, and how maybe their missions should change in the future as well. In the platform, we have a diversity of institutions, and we were looking for diversity of institutions so that a large museum can learn from a small publisher, or a festival organizer can look at someone dealing with prototyping. And that creates tension as well, because everyone is operating in a different scale, or with the different means, different resources. But the basic idea is that every member institution shares part of its resources to create a common program. When we curate the conference that is happening right now and is launching the European Architecture Program, we look at these 25 applications and we try to cluster them in under some particular issues that they try to address, and in a way also that they can discuss among each other. And if last year we were talking about some specific themes in architecture, like architecture and nature, or heritage, or how do we deal with heritage. This year it was more about the processes of work in architecture, from research to cultural production to practice. And that's what we find very important in the platform, to discuss about the practice and to discuss about the business model of an architecture office, or how the profession's list of tasks has changed and broadened in the last years. I think it's quite clear that if we want to face some change in architecture in the future, architectural education will need to change thoroughly. It is still happening in a way as it happened 10 years ago or 20 years ago in most of the schools, and by reading the applications of the young generation, that is becoming quite clear. Some are very critical towards education that they got. Some are bringing in proposals how it should change, and some are simply lost in nowadays world. So that's something that's urgent, I think. Then there are different trends that have maybe not been discovered through the platform, but that exist. in the contemporary architectural discussion, and it's about the digital and the physical, about the urban and non-urban, about reuse and resources and materials. And these discussions are opened every cycle and every year. I think that it's nothing more important today than to think about the future, that there are urgent matters that we need to deal with, and that requires from us to look into the future.